Hey, lizard people. Let's talk for a moment about how to tell if your bearded dragon might be dying. So, there are several signs which will tell you if your bearded dragon is dying. If your pet has dull, gray skin but is not shedding, if he's acting uninterested or unresponsive, lethargic, but he's not in brumation, he could be dying. Other signs include lack of appetite, sunken or droopy eyes, shallow breathing, and spending more time in the cooler area of their tank. Some common causes of death include impaction from ingesting loose substrate or food that's too large, improper temperature leading to overheating or being too cold, infection, parasites, egg binding, ingesting toxic plants or bugs, metabolic bone disease, stress, organ failure, or aneurysms. So, bearded dragons live to be between 10 and 15 years old if they're raised in captivity, but between the ages of around 7 or 8, they're recognized as actually being old or in the old stage of their life. So once they reach this stage, you'll notice them slowing down in their movements, being less active, sleeping more, eating less. Um, this is just from getting old age, and during this period of their life, it starts at 7 to 8, but they can live to be up to 15. They could pass from many different things. It could just be organ failure, aneurysms. This is just from them getting older, and if this happens after this many years, it's very likely they have just reached the end of their life cycle. So for illnesses, dragons can die from diseases, parasites, or metabolic bone disease, with among a bunch of other things. But with any of these issues, it's important to get it diagnosed quickly and treated quickly. If you have any, looking for any chance to recover. The longer you wait to get your pet help, the harder it's going to be to cure the issue. So, improper care is one of the big reasons that bearded dragons pass away. It's vital that we make sure um, that we have the proper setup and we pay attention to their needs in order for them to have a long and happy life. So, little things like from their temperatures being too hot or too cold can affect their and these things are easily controlled by having the proper tank size, lighting, and the proper temperature setup. So, and other times, bearded dragons might die from an impaction. This is something that can be caused from loose substrate, which is the flooring in their tank that they've consumed. These impactions usually cause a quick death. One day you'll see them running around being happy and healthy, wake up the next morning and no longer will be alive. So you got to be really careful with your substrate. Another possible things that can happen with impaction is if you feed them insects that are too large. Larger than the space between their eyes is what you want to avoid. So you want to make sure the insects are smaller than the space between their eyes. This makes the food easier to consume, and it'll avoid impactions. So there are several things we as pet owners can control in their environment, and it's important that we are aware that they are getting the proper habitat so that they can thrive. So, what can you really do about this? If you notice any of the signs that we've covered, all hope is not lost. It's actually a great thing that you've noticed it because once you identify the symptoms, you're far more likely to be able to save your pet. Usually, when deaths happen, it's because the owner just didn't even notice something was going on. Because a lot of the problems are easy fixes, like if they're like overheating or being too cold, very easy to fix that problem. Other things like infections or parasites may require a trip to the vet for some testing or medication. But if you're at a loss of what to do, or you just don't know what the issue might be, it's always a good idea to contact your vet and get their advice and evaluation. So when your pet has died, maybe you've been trying to nurse it back to health, but nothing seems to work, or you might not be able to tell the difference if your bearded dragon is just in a brumation period and not sick, think something like that. So here's a list of things to check for, and you'll know that if your bearded dragon has died. So if the eyes are partially closed but not completely closed, unnaturally limp mouth and jaw, does not respond to physical touch, no movement, the animal is limp when you handle it, there's no breathing, Sometimes their head and underside may stay black, like when the beards turn black naturally and it goes away. It won't go away this time. Skin and eyes have an unnatural yellow color. These are all things you can look for that you know that will let you know that your bearded dragon has passed away. Bearded dragons are susceptible to a range of health issues, so it's important as an owner to be able to notice and identify these symptoms as they're happening before your pet does pass away. But sometimes these are going to be easy, quick fixes. You can nurse your pet back to health, and other issues are going to require medicine and a vet. But being able to notice these issues early is important. So when you're trying to determine if your pet is dying, be sure to look for dull or gray skin, when they are not shedding, acting unresponsive, lethargic, and uninterested when not in brumation, a lack of appetite, sunken eyes, shallow breathing, and spending more time on the cooler side of their tank. Your bearded dragon may experience different symptoms. Not every bearded dragon is going to be the same, but it's important to know your pet and contact your vet if you have any questions. So if you want to learn more about bearded dragons or really learn everything you can before you get one, or maybe you've already received one and you need to catch up on all the information about them so you can properly take care of them, I have a digital handbook. You can check it on my website. I'll leave a link in the description below. I think it'll be very handy for you or someone that's either a new owner or looking to get a dragon. Even for the experienced owners, you'll learn a lot from this. So just check it out down there if that's something you're interested in. So thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below, like this video, and subscribe. Until the next one, see ya.